You are listening to the audio production of Glorification, an Introduction, part of the Short Studies in Systematic Theology series by Graham A. Cole, published by Audiobooks. This book was originally published by Crossway and is read by Graham Geisler. Series Preface. The ancient Greek thinker Heraclitus reputedly said that the thinker has to listen to the essence of things. A series of theological studies dealing with the traditional topics that make up systematic theology needs to do just that. Accordingly, in each of these studies, a theologian addresses the essence of a doctrine. This series thus aims to present short studies in theology that are attuned to both the Christian tradition and contemporary theology in order to equip the Church to faithfully understand, love, teach, and apply what God has revealed in Scripture about a variety of topics. What may be lost in comprehensiveness can be gained through what John Calvin, in the dedicatory epistle of his commentary on Romans, called lucid brevity. Of course, a thorough study of any doctrine will be longer rather than shorter, as there are 2 millennia of confession, discussion, and debate with which to interact. As a result, a short study needs to be more selective, but deftly so. Thankfully, the contributors to this series have the ability to be brief yet accurate. The key aim is that the simpler is not to morph into the simplistic. The test is whether the topic of a short study, when further studied in depth, requires some unlearning to take place. The simple can be amplified. The simplistic needs to be corrected. As editors, we believe that the volumes in this series pass that test. While the specific focus varies, each volume, 1. Introduces the doctrine, 2. Sets it in context, 3. Develops it from Scripture, 4. Draws the various threads together, and 5. Brings it to bear on the Christian life. It is our prayer, then, that this series will assist the Church to delight in her triune God by thinking His thoughts, which He has graciously revealed in His written Word, which testifies to His living Word, Jesus Christ, after Him, in the powerful working of His Spirit. Graham A. Cole and Orrin R. Martin. Introduction. Thinking about the future can be daunting for many people. This is true when thinking of oneself. Will I marry? Will I have children? Will I have good health? Will I find satisfying work? Is the best ahead of me, or have I passed it already? Is there life after death? If so, what does it look like? Not long ago, I received a late-night phone call from a man who had recently turned 40. A friend of his, a little older than him, had just died suddenly from a heart attack. The caller was in tears. This was his first friend of around his age who had died. Now he was not only grieving, but also confronting his own mortality. Thoughts about one's future can be influenced by the society in which one lives. I have lived in 3 countries: Australia, the United States, and England. I found optimism about the future in both Australia and the United States, but pessimism in England. The English people I lived among seemed to have a sense of a great empire now lost and never to be recovered. In other words, a glorious past was gone forever. Those interested in scientific scenarios about the future of the universe can also find the latest theories demoralizing. Is a coming generation going to face the heat death of the universe, or the Big Crunch, or the Big Chill? In any of these contemporary scientific scenarios, humankind won't survive. Over a century ago, when the heat death of the universe was commonly held as the best science, philosopher Bertrand Russell argued that in that light, only within the scaffolding of these truths, as claimed by the science of his day, only on the firm foundation of unyielding despair, can the soul's habitation henceforth be safely built. However, for the Christian, the best is yet to be. To rework the Russell quote, only within the scaffolding of these truths, as revealed in Scripture about the future, only
Sample complete. Ready to continue?